what was this called? Probably just Santa's Workshop. I think that's what I said yesterday. So leave a like as you sign in and let me know if you can hear if the sound is good. I just got my BFF a set of dog tags. Hey, Tanner, that's kind of fun. Vintage set of dog tags here. Okay. So sounds like the sound's okay. Thanks for the like. Tommy, thank you for, like and subscribe. Welcome, Tommy. Tommy with a like. Tavia, don't forget to leave a like. Tanner, don't forget to leave a like. So let's go from Santa to Santa today. It's time to, build up this set. It's kind of been in the background for a while. It's a new set. And let me get started on that here. Tavia says, we went shopping yesterday. How fun, Tavia. Excuse me while I get a little organized here. So Tavia, we went shopping yesterday. Could that mean Lego shopping? Could that be Christmas shopping in general? Could that be a combo of the two? Lego Christmas shopping? Exciting indeed. Tanner says, how long are we gonna go tonight? Tanner, probably the usual, right? I'll always do about an hour's live stream and a mini accident here. Dropped, I can't believe it. I dropped my brick therapy, guys. So I'm gonna try and, salvage some of the pieces, although I heard him go flying. So maybe I'll rebuild him after the stream, revive the poor guy. But in his place will be our sole representative, Sig Fig, myself, the brick therapy host, of course. So figured I'd build up this set. Those of you who are into Lego and perhaps some cool Lego Christmas sets, this might be one you guys have seen, picked up, or are waiting to build yourselves. So this will be set 40820, the Upscale Santa minifigure. And I guess if the picture's to scale, that's a giant upscale minifigure for sure. So yeah, leave a like and join us and we'll continue the live stream. Thank you, Tommy, for being here and reminding people to leave a like, subscribe, and join the live stream. We only got food, Tobias says. Food is important, Tobias. Very good. So how's everyone doing? Tanner's good question. How is everyone doing? How are your Lego collections going? Brickable World. Hey, everybody. This is a great set. Welcome, Brickable World. Great name. Welcome. Tobias says, I'm getting Lego for my birthday. Tanner says, congratulations on the renewal of your birth certificate. Oh, I didn't catch that. Who got a renewal of their birth certificate? So very cool, you guys. And let me see. I'm gonna start actually with a rebuild. So if you like Lego Christmas sets, this one was maybe this was 2 years ago. Now I think about it. So it's partially built already. And we can add this to the partial rebuilt set from yesterday. We got I don't want to pick it up because I'm for sure going to drop it, but there's the Santa sleigh there and the vintage firehouse. We got both sets there in the foreground. And this is kind of the random table of Lego World. We won't even call it a city display, but you can probably recognize some older sets, some sets that have just retired, or just some fun sets in general. I really like the Lego truck there in the middle. But yeah, this was all finished yesterday, so we'll continue to add to the Christmas themes. A little more confined here in this setup here, not as a stable a table, so I'm afraid to knock something down. So I'll be a little more careful with the way I move around here. Brickable World, yeah, thank you. So Brickable World, sounds like you guys, you have some of these Christmas sets as well. And yeah, if you guys have certain sets to list or share what your favorite is, or possible good acquisitions to your own Lego collection, that would be fun to see. No worries, Tanner. Leave a like before you head out, and we'll be here when you join us back again. So I'm going to build up Santa's Workshop first. This was a gift for purchase 2 Christmases ago now, I think. Maybe last year. I've only built it up once, so you've got kind of a fun setup here. This is the outside. You've got a roof that is on it's kind of a half diorama set, so it's opened up to the front, but you can see some of the workshop station part here. And whoops, I think this might fold out. And there must be a workshop table, but let me look at the instructions. Got the great Christmas color there with all the red brick and the interior floor. Of course, you have your 2 key figures in this, at least, in Santa and the elf. So I'm gonna work on these guys, and again, I can't get over the fact this will go next though. Upscale Santa versus minifig Santa. If this picture is any indicator of how big the set is, you're talking, what, 1,000 times, maybe 100 times bigger than the minifig Santa. So that's kind of fun. All right, so this set is, well, I don't know. This is one of those gift with purchase sets, so it doesn't give you the piece count. I was curious as to what the piece count would be, but we don't have that. We'll put these guys up here and see what you guys are up to. So, Damos, well, bonjour, says Damos. Psh, welcome, Damos, to the live stream. And looking on the LEGO website recently, it looks like there had been some cool things to take advantage of, but I think now the momentum is probably pointing towards January with newer sets. But I must say there were some double insider points that you could have taken advantage of. There were some sets that were on sale throughout the course of November and Black Friday, and a cool gift for purchase, I think, from, gosh, just from a week ago. Now it's not there. The gazebo, the winter gazebo. Then they had like a gingerbread train, and they offered double insider points. So there definitely were some cool sets or purchase, what would you call them? Purchase temptations to take advantage of if that was you. And look at that. Judging from the perimeter and base plate of where these sets go, the good thing about new Lego is it snaps in so nicely, so easily. And we got the entrance to the workshop right there, kind of like a half of a barn stable color there. Damos says hello. Damos, forgot if I didn't give you a high five, giving you a high five. Thank you for the 8 likes, everyone. And let's see here. I'm gonna see what I can build up as I go along here. It looks like there is a outer, what would you call this? Like a loading dock area, perhaps. Wait, let me see here. I got to see how I orient everything. So that, this is to the Santa's workshop display. I don't remember this part. So like I don't know, kind of like a loading platform to the workshop there. And let me look at the picture. I'm kind of just building this in very small sections, so it'll look like this. And these, I want to say this gift with purchase was fairly easy to get. There wasn't a huge expensive threshold for this, because I think I ended up with more than one of these. But in any case, a fun build here. And now let me see what I have left off with. So it looks like it's kind of a conveyor belt type thing. So this conveyor belt of toys, oh, interesting. This conveyor belt of toys goes into the platform, I guess. And I gotta figure out how that all bounces and works. Jimmy Jr., I'd like I'd like to stay longer, but have a good night. Hey, Jimmy Jr., thanks for staying, man. Leave a like before you head out, and thank you for joining the live stream. And just building up some smaller winter sets here, working our way to maybe the gingerbread AT-AT. Have any of you guys built up that set? The gingerbread AT-AT is obviously, again, probably one of the more popular sets of any of these Christmas builds that have come out, but I have not come across that one, or not come, what do you call them? I haven't set up a time to build that one, but I think that one would be super fun to build. And I have that set. Those are one of those sets because it's so popular, and I haven't unboxed it yet. I'm like, do I hold on to it or build it? And of course, if you're someone who collects Lego in earnest, it is probably one of those things where you're like, oh, maybe I should hold on to it. But you know what? It's Lego. You got to enjoy it. So I assume this conveyor belt thing just kind of stays in place because there's some pieces that hold it. But, you know, a little toy factory track as it ships out onto Santa's sleigh. And it's a good kind of companion set, I guess you could say, to the Santa sleigh. And all right, so I got that. And I'm kind of going to zip through this set so I can get to the main event here. The main event being the Upscale Santa. And forgetting that I had something there. All right, so the conveyor belt, and I guess it's just a conveyor belt door. You open this guy up, and the toy delivery train comes through. So, of course, liked all the color and the pieces there. I think it'd be fun if you worked for Lego. How fun would it be just to be a designer for these smaller tests? So Damos says, I didn't say hi. Hey, Damos. I thought I said hello, but if not, hello again. Or maybe you're talking with Jimmy there, who already signed off. So looking at the Lego website and all the sets that have been on offer, I'm doubting anything else will come of it, but wondering, what would be next? What would Lego throw out there next in terms of sets or double insider points before Christmas? But I guess probably that time has come and gone now. So, and it's interesting, if you're a Lego collector, I don't know when you can kind of call it quits in a way, because you gotta control your budget at some point. They've had so many big scale sets come out in the last several months, going back to August, with the Transformer sets, and then September with the Black Pearl set, and October with the big UCS Death Star set, November with the Goonies set, and then November also with Star Trek, wasn't it? And the Star Trek set, and then December there was some other one. What was maybe the Star Trek was the last hurrah. And then of course Black Friday to get people to buy up some other sets that were retiring, and then so on. So, all right. Well, welcome to this Tuesday evening and building up Lego. Hopefully we'll get going here. Looks like I don't have all the pieces in the bag here. So let me see. It's just 2 small table pieces. But then I have a section here. I don't see the top 2. So I'm gonna have to reconstruct this and dig through some extra parts at some point and find, I got most of it, but I need 2 other legs to the table here. And then looks like a couple of the wall sections. And let me see where those go. All right, one wall section. Oh, the flower pieces. I really like the color of these Lego pieces here. And building up Santa's workshop. So this is what I'm working on right now. Let me see. I should put the, I can put the camera back more. We can see the table. And then I'll work on this. And then, yeah, Santa's workshop right there. Let's see, trying to, let's see, follow the build and where everything goes. So I've got everything in the right place. And building up a very cool set, a very small set. And now I've kind of lost my place in terms of what? All right. Let's see where the floor plan leads. You think I could do a faster job at this, but then you get a little disoriented. Sometimes it's easier, like I don't know if you rebuild sets often, but sometimes it's easier to reconstruct by just taking the whole darn thing apart. But I really don't want to do that with this one because it's a small set and I think it should just easily be rebuilt. And oh, looks like it just rests. What? Looks like it just rests on here. Maybe it's, oh, it's a slider. That's what it is. So this is kind of a track, or this rod piece is kind of a track holder. So this door, it's a sliding door. Okay, all right. Crisis averted somewhat. So you have two sliding track doors. That's kind of fun. I don't remember that effect from before. So you can see that these slide open like a giant barn door, I guess, in a way. And I guess the other part of the roof line will hold that into place here. Very cool. Okay, so I got that. And now the roof section, which does have the top part of the track there. And a fun aspect of the build here, you got a hanging lantern. And let me see if I can do this correctly here. So looks like I got this. All right. Okay, so a little bit of a sliding barn door effect to Santa's workshop. I don't know if this is a set that came out last, oh gosh, Christmas 2023. Small gift with purchase set. You get a Santa, you get an elf, and you get a pretty good overall build. On the inside, there'll be some more accessories, but yeah, you get an inside, kind of an inside look to the workshop itself. So that's kind of fun. So just building up here and working my way to the big set, which I'll have to sort. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have gotten any Christmas themed builds. They are a lot of fun. And the only thing, of course, is they're very seasonal, right? So you have them built up like we do. You leave them up built up for a few weeks and then tear them down again. It's kind of, I guess, kind of sad in that way, but at the same time, it's also fun to, you know, bring these things out again and then build them up. I just have to make sure. Aha. I think I overstretched this roof line here, so this part should actually work its way over more this way. Whoops. There we go. Now, concentrate here a second and get this door on track. Oops. There we go. There we go. Looking good. All right, so there's the sliding door element. I forgot about that. That's kind of cool. A little barn door element, slider. And from the outside, like these cool kind of Christmas wreath too on that side. Looks very cool. Hey, Cart. Is it Cart Dope? Welcome, Cart. Thanks for joining the live stream. If you like Lego, if you like building Lego, we're building Christmas themed Lego here. This is channel BrickTherapy23. And I show you off the Brick Therapy build that we have that represents our channel. You might see a guy that's kind of like this somewhere off to the corner. So leave a like and subscribe if you like joining in the discussion. We have a lot of good talks about Lego throughout the build process, and hearing from you guys, those who join in the channel in the chat, and talk about all various things. Probably one of the funnest topics, of course, is what is in your collection. Are you a young collector? If you're an older collector, you've probably had Lego since you were a kid, and it's kind of fun to get back into collecting, the collecting aspect of it, of course. And as I kind of reconstruct this set without making it fall apart, I didn't want to take it apart completely. So I had this built up last Christmas, and then whoops. And then, break these pieces down. But it's a fun, simple build, just missing two sections. Oh, there they are. Never mind, I found them. All is well. So, two sections of the build here to show off. And yeah, just talk about Lego on our channel. So please like and subscribe. Thank you, Tommy. Tommy, you've been here, man, and I hope you don't mind. I would like to make you a mod if you're okay with that. Let me make you a mod. And just thanks for being a part of the channel here. So I got Tommy to help me mod or rate the channel, and as people join, Tommy can welcome you and remind you to like and subscribe. So there we go. We've got that worked out pretty well. There's some cool elements here. Obviously the candle, the micro build right there, the gifts put in place, ready to deliver, the conveyor belt, a little bit of a mechanical section here. And it's almost like that movie Elf. It's kind of got that sense to it because there's some modern technology here, like the electronic control panel that maybe sets the toys out on the conveyor belt and then sends them on their way as this shuts up. And to make it more authentic, you've got your elf, they're master builders, craftsmen. So, I guess this doesn't stand. I thought he might be able to hold that micro build. So, and you can put your guys just in display any way you want. Of course, the workshop table where the elf builds all the good stuff. And then you got these cool colored 1x1 cylinder pieces up here. Maybe some precious metal materials to build up all the cool toys and crafts that go on in the North Pole. So more of a diorama set. It's a look in to what a small section of the workshop would be. A fun theme to talk about and warm up to what will come next. So this was set 40565, gift with purchase set at one point. And so when my son's here, we build up Lego together, and then when he can't live stream, of course, continue the channel going. And these are one of our sig figs, of course. They're supposed to represent me. And so thanks for being here. Leave a like as you can join and just say hello. Tommy says he's a Smurf. Let's see, the Brick Squad. So what is your main theme that you talk about or do you do videos on? Brick Squad, good question. So main theme would be depending on the live stream. So it's kind of based on a series. So of course, December being close to Christmas, it's all these Christmas sets. We started with the ones down here with the Wonder Village Fire Station and then Santa's sleigh right there. Before that, it was modulars, and I did a long series of live streams on the Assembly Square modular. Before that, the Jazz Club. And then our other live streams over the summer kind of varied, but the main theme over the summer were the Lord of the Rings sets. So we built up Barad-dûr and Rivendell and the Shire. And then our very first live stream was the Star Destroyer. Overall, the channel is called BrickTherapy23. So we like talking about Lego and how great hobby it is, and therapy being the fact that you can build and then just enjoy spending time as a family or individually if you just want to have an escape and build and be creative. Or honestly, it is really just nice to take an instruction booklet and just build. It can be a smaller scale set like this, or what you see behind me, some large scale sets. So that's kind of the gist of what we do. So yeah, thanks for asking, Brick Squad. Obviously the main theme is Lego, and then how it kind of fills out that theme of people like having a hobby and what kind of hobbies they have. And then the live streams, it can be various topics related to Lego, and yeah, what people are up to. Obviously when you live stream, the cool part is we're able to meet people from literally around the world. So we've had people join us from pretty much every continent. We even had over the summer, I hope he's still there, we had a guy check in from one of the stations in Antarctica. Alaska, people have checked in from Southeast Asia, Australia, Europe, especially the UK, Spain, and of course here in the US and Canada. So lots of good connections through the YouTubes. So yeah, thanks for asking. Brick Squad says building Legos. Yeah, Brick Squad. So there's, elaborate a little bit more on that. The joy of the builds. Yes, exactly, Tommy. Let's see. Cart says, Cart D90 or Cart D90 says, hey, Brick Therapy, I love the content. Great holiday build. I got a quick question regarding Lego sets. Do you recommend any sets that are particularly fun simply because of the building process? Good question. So I kind of have two aspects to that. So one cart would be if you are, in fact, I saw a fun diagram of it today. It was kind of like a line graph. So when you're young and you get into Legos as a kid, Lego is a fun toy, and your interest levels up to here are like, here's the top of the charts, the top of the screen. And then, as you get older, especially when you're in high school or whatever, your interest level drops. Although some people like Lego all the time, but most people, it's like they like Lego as a kid, and then they get, a little bit older, middle school, high school, and then the interest drops, and then no Lego whatsoever. And those are called the dark ages. And then you get back into Lego as a grown-up, and you get out of what's called the dark ages, and you become an AFOL, right? An adult fan of Lego. So if that's you, if you're an adult fan of Lego, which is what I would describe myself as, I learned that term a few years back when my younger son, we were buying him a small Lego set, and then he built it and then took it apart, and then he couldn't figure out how to rebuild it. So I helped him rebuild it, and then I realized, oh, we have another set here to build, a fire truck. So we built up the fire truck for him, or I built most of it, and I just recalled all that fun, that memory, looking through an instruction booklet and going step by step into the build, and seeing how the whole thing comes together, and all, even the design of the instruction pages was so reminiscent of childhood and putting together Lego sets. So that just, the spark came out of the dark ages, and I got a few Lego sets to build myself, and then went in full bore, right? Getting big sets like the ones behind me. So as a grown-up, if you want a fun experience building Lego, probably more on the complex side, I would recommend, sets like the ones behind me, or those modular sets, like the one I described, the assembly square. So if you look at our last 2 series of live streams, the modular sets, the ones that kind of resemble real life structures, but kind of from the turn of the century, like 1900s kind of architecture, then that would be super fun. If you just want, building Lego for, a nice diversion, there's so many routes you can take now. They make sets that look like flowers, floral design ones. They make sets that look like art pieces, like paintings, especially Van Gogh, and there's a Mona Lisa set. I haven't built those. They look nice. My particular bias is towards sets that obviously have the full Lego theme, meaning minifigures and then cool structures. So everything behind me kind of fills that role. Like everything, giant sets like the Daily Bugle, which, building up a skyscraper, to the yellow semi truck there. And then of course holiday sets like the fire station right there, the one in the front of the table, the foreground there. So yeah, that would be my approach. So just to sum it up, if you like Lego and you have a decent budget to like maybe start, I would say, invest. I'd say invest a good amount, maybe between $100 to $200, and get one of those modular sets. And if that's too pricey, there are some really good Harry Potter sets or Ninjago sets. If you like building structures, probably the Harry Potter sets. Those themes are really cool because then you don't have to spend in the hundreds of dollars. You can probably get a decent set that kind of, on the level of this winter station here, probably in the $50 range. And of course, there's always good discounts and sales if you look on Walmart or Amazon's website. The Lego store, lego.com, all that. That's a whole nother level. If you get into Lego collecting even more, then you're gonna probably want to buy Lego that. Hopefully that sounds okay. Let me switch microphones because I think this thing ran out of power. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Let me know if the sound is gone. But yeah, those are kind of the 2 routes I would take. So make sure the sound's good. So let me know if the sound's still there. Tobias says I'm back. Yes, you're good. Thank you, Tommy. So yeah, if you are a casual, if you have a casual interest in Lego, again, just kind of something to build, something like a puzzle piece type. You like doing puzzles, but Legos, more 3D. Then one of those Harry Potter sets. Actually, those are fun. They're very creative looking. It's based on a book theme. It's probably a popular theme, and you get an architectural aspect to it that looks really interesting. So yeah, you can go the casual route and buy a set like that. And then if you are like, I think I want to build one of these more complex sets, you can obviously expand your goals to go pretty far. For example, they have a Titanic model that is a $650 set, and it's good size. I think it's probably one of the biggest sets in terms of Lego pieces, So imagine something like this, but 10,000 Lego pieces that, build a giant model of a Starline type cruise ship from 1912. So yeah, Brick Squad says, lots of laugh. Lego isn't for kids anymore. It's kind of for both, right? It's kind of for both. So of course, Lego being the savvy company they are, they have their campaign that probably started around 2020, right? The adult welcome theme. And so that became something that stuck. That's where you start to see those modular sets where adult fans want those sets, because then they can, build up something like this where they have a full city display and a full collection that they, just like to have built, the joy of building it and the joy of having it out as, part of their home. That is just a fun, I don't know, their own museum to the Lego itself. Cart says, I'm looking for relaxing builds. The adult or painting and decor sets have looked extra interesting to me. Yeah, and those painting sets, Cart, are pretty sweet. I've seen them go on sale before. you know, it's still probably in the $100, $150 range. If that's too much, then oh, another good kind of overlapping theme might be the Speed Champions, which are if you are in, especially if you're into cars, models of cars or car models, those are good. Those are like $20 to $30 sets. But I just recently built up one of those. It was a Formula One McLaren. Arton Santa was the driver, or is the driver, and that was a $60 set on sale. But the part that you build that's really interesting is all the pieces that go into making the engine, all the cylinders of the engine, all the pistons. It's just a fun build. Looks really good. So yeah, good question, Cart. Thanks for asking. Tommy says, yeah, China, Germany, there's people from everywhere. Tavai is back. Yes, adults welcome is the new theme. This is how Lego gets all ages involved. Tommy says the Goonies set is nice. That is, yeah. And now that's another good point. Tommy brings up the nostalgia. Knowing that they have adult fans, you know, you've got nostalgia type sets like Back to the Future. So they have a Lego set there. So movies or TV shows from the 80s, the Goonies, the Star Trek set that just came out. Star Wars pretty much covers most age groups and fan groups. And, you know, if you want to go to the max, those are some big sets. But yeah, Cart, if you're looking for relaxing builds, the painting one, the decor sets, those look good. Plus the floral ones, those are fun builds. I only had one. It was a wildflower set. It's totally different, you know, it's not going to be like this, but the way Lego has designed several different pieces and molds, it's, especially if you've built other Lego sets, you see how they kind of repurpose different pieces to look like a flower petal or whatever. So what would be the hood of a car from a Lego City set, you know, make that color a pink or a red or like a pastel color, and now it's like a flower petal, and it looks great. It looks great. So yeah, Goonie set is nice. I'm a big kid now, says Tommy. Yes, exactly, Tommy. Exactly. Pirate is here. Morning from Atlanta. I'm sitting here watching your amazing, incredible live stream while waiting to clock out at 12:30 midnight today. Pirate taking it into Wednesday morning. Welcome, Pirate. Pirate, you might have missed this part. We're working on Christmas sets, obviously. So just finished the Santa workshop, and I had it rebuilt from before. So it was broken down into basically 3 sections. One section being the toy conveyor belt, which if you open up this door here, then the conveyor belt slides through, which is fun. And then, of course, from this side, you get the farm door effect, you know, the elf to greet you. And then if you go to the go to this side, we almost lost Santa there. He wasn't snapped in completely. Then you get the Santa's workshop here, the workbench, some new toys being carved out and already wrapped in their present. And then Santa here. I even love the fact that, let me see if I can move him back here a little bit. You get the conveyor belt control panel right there. This gray piece right here. It's so funny. So it's motorized too, right? It's not just the North Pole workshop where there is no electricity. Although it looks like they might be operating by candlelight. I don't know. So yeah, so fun building that. And you know, I wanted to start this guy. So let's start. I've never built one of these upscale. It's funny. It doesn't sound right. It's kind of an oxymoron. The upscaled minifigure. There are 3 of these. And of course they look great. These remind me of, like, if you go to a Lego store, you go to any store, any toy store that sells Lego, you'll see these giant Lego builds. So this reminds me of a version of that. Obviously not as big. You know, they make life-size builds like as big as people. Made out of thousands of Lego bricks. So we get our own kind of version of that. You know, not that huge, but definitely compared to you know, compared to Santa himself, you know, there's the comparison in size. So there we go. Upscale Santa for sure. For sure. All right, let me see. Is this a punch tab box? It is. All right, so we're gonna start at least set 40820. The Upscale Santa minifigure, 761 pieces. And, you know, what is it? It's December 16th. What is that? Less than, is that true? Is that less than 10 days from Christmas? Okay, so working our way to Christmas Day. And the Upscale Santa, I think several people have probably built up this set, but BrickTherapy23 has not. So leave a like if you are in, and let's go. Pirate, yep, high five from Tommy. Please like and subscribe if you like Lego, if you like building Lego. If you catch this live stream at a later time, please like and subscribe to BrickTherapy23, where we build Lego, talk Lego, and show off fun Lego builds, such as the Upscale Santa. Brick Squad says, yes, sir, or yup. All right, so these sets, another insider thing. I don't know if you're still listening, Cart, but if you're new to Lego, you know, you'll usually get a instruction booklet with a QR code, not like this, but it'll be on the front. But if it's a Lego themed set, you don't get those, which is kind of a bummer. But if you see a QR code on the front, scan that, and that'll give you 20 insider points, which is like, you know, most stores have them today, where it's like consumer or, you know, customer incentive to buy more things, but then if they get points, those points lead to a dollar value, which leads to a discount. And Lego offers some pretty good insider incentives, like points that add up to $20 discount or $10 discount, $20 discount, up to a $50 discount, $100 discount. And, you know, depending on how much you get into the Lego collecting situation, you could stack a lot of points to the point where you are probably at the $50 to $100 range, and then, you know, use that for one of those big sets. How many points do you have, Brick Squad? Well, Brick Squad, how many do you have? We've got enough. We've got a considerable amount. Obviously, you know, when you buy enough sets like this, you get some points. I would say the best part is if you are a collector, take advantage. There's always another way to kind of work your way through the consumer game, and that is buy Lego when they offer other incentives, like what I just showed you, right? A gift with purchase. So if you're buying a Lego set anyway, they will offer, you know, smaller sets like this, you know, extra Lego for your money, a fun build that you get, and you know, you get sort of like a free set. This is probably like a $25 value set, but you get it automatically when you buy your set. So try to time your large scale purchases that way. Oh, nice, Brick Squad, you got a lot of points. So that's probably what? That's probably already up to $100, right? 16,000 points. So yeah, if you, as they say, stack your points, don't use them all right away, then not only could you buy a set with a gift with purchase like Brick Squad, you could also use your insider points to get a big set and take off $100 off the price. So yeah, there's a lot of cool perks. And then I was saying on a few live streams, Lego also has this double insider point system where if you buy a set, you'll always get insider points, but there'll be, as of last week, recently, there was an example of this where if you buy a set in a certain week of the month, Lego will offer these double insider points. So then you get double. So let's say you get a giant set like the Titanic, which, you know, probably get, I don't know, I'm just estimating 2,000 points, which is about a $20 discount. If it's double insider points, you get 4,000 points, you know, and then you get like a $40 discount. I think the math is a little bit more than that, but it's pretty close. And so 16,000 points, that's a good amount, Brick Squad. You got yourself, I want to say, about $100 already there in Lego points. So very good. Okay, so it looks like we've got 7 bags total. And let's start with bag 1. I like the color of the pieces here. Nice, clean, fresh Lego. And I'm gonna open this actually into the Tupperware. And we'll start with bag 1 of the Upscale Santa. Bag 1 of the Upscale Santa. And we got the fresh new open pieces poured out. And let's begin. 1 bag within the bag 1, a smaller bag of smaller pieces here. So maybe I'll put these off to the side on the table itself so they're easier to find. So, you know, there are strategies to, you know, building as well. So you could just, you know, hunt for the pieces you need and leave it like this. Or lately I've been, especially live streaming, you want to kind of stay engaged at the same time you're building, is kind of sort the pieces by color or plate size. And since there's a lot of red, I'm just gonna separate the red before I start building from the other color pieces so I can obviously see everything better and find everything a lot more easily. And I see these are some pieces here that are old. These are like, I've seen this mold from classic Lego Space, I want to say. So a piece like this has been around for probably 40 years or so. They're still making this piece. Other pieces that stand out so far, these are great if you are building up Lego buildings, Lego builds like this. You know, you got a pretty wide piece here that's up like probably 1, 2, 3, 4 studs high, so you get a good wall piece. In this case, probably used for Santa's, judging from here, maybe his leg area, although there's only one. So I'm guessing all the red is probably exterior, and then all these other multicolored pieces are going to be interior pieces. So let's see what happens. Okay, so that's bag 1. And let me put the other bags in order before I continue. Bag 2 looks like more interior. And I saw some cool sections that are going to be fun when you get there. Some more interior. That was 5. Oh, where was it? Must be near the end. And probably the beard and head area. But, oh, I don't know where I saw it. I know I saw his face, kind of the face or the eyes in one of these bags. And now I'm overlooking it. But yeah, 7 bags total. And wanted to show it off. I thought I saw it pretty quickly. Oh, there. Oh, maybe it wasn't that, but you can see where his belt's going to be. There's his waist part. Okay. So I thought I saw another picture plated. Looks like it's all printed pieces, even better. So if you get into Lego, printed pieces are your friend, right? You got no need to worry about sticker placement. So Pirate, thanks for being here. Yeah, Brick Squad has 16,000 insider points. That's pretty good. $100 worth, I want to say. That's what that worth. Amy says, I'm very nervous for tomorrow because I have a Christmas play. Oh, Amy, exciting though, it sounds like. But yeah, that is probably good nerves. We describe that as, you know, butterflies in your stomach, right? Well, Amy, how about joining here for a little Brick Therapy as we build up the Upscale Santa. And again, this is the fun part. I've been working through the assembly square and then rebuilding the Winter Village fire station and rebuilding a couple other sets, getting back into a new set, numbered bags, and the new version of numbered bags, which will make this build feel, at least that's my hope, to go relatively quickly and smoothly. So there we go. There's the start of your Upscale Santa. Any idea what that is? I'm guessing probably the start of his torso. So we'll see here. But yeah, when I was building the Jazz Club set, the part I liked a lot about that was it's a modular set, and it was 15 numbered bags, but everything was numbered so nicely that it just felt like progress the whole time. Then I backtracked and built the assembly square set, which is an older modular, and there was only six numbered bags, but there were about 5 to 7 numbered bags that all had the number 6, which meant you were opening like 200 or 300 pieces all at once, and then trying to build up everything as you go along, which is fun. But in the live stream, I was constantly sorting and hunting, so I had to refine my build process, which is part of the brick therapy experience. Turning order out of chaos, fun chaos, of course, being Lego pieces itself. But yeah, I definitely like the new, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the new system of whatever Lego's done to reorder the way bags are numbered, and yeah, just make that first build go so smoothly, which probably also lends itself to younger Lego fans and builders getting into what's going on, so that they can actually build those more complex sets and take on a modular set and have some success building up something that maybe is intended for whatever the age range is on a set like that. 18 plus, I think, was the assembly square set. So definitely like that. You will do great on your Christmas play. Nice, Tommy. Good encouragement there. Amy says, I'm very happy because today I got a Lego set of military planes and tanks. It is not real Lego, but it's still very, very fun. Yeah, Amy, those are fun themes. I've seen a few of those. I want to say Mold King or whatever other brands that make, the military version of Lego. My son got a couple of those a few years back. I think it was, just like a tank, probably a World War II tank. I want to say it was like a Tiger tank. But those can be fun. Of course, Lego does not endorse or build themes like that because it's too close to real life war, and they don't want to promote that. But of course, ironically, when you think about the Star Wars set and one of your most popular themes or sets is called a Star Destroyer or a Death Star, which I know it's not real. It's it's a fictional story, but that's definitely a giant scale war size type build. Maybe not on this planet, but still related to that. So fun. Yeah, and then I know there are independent companies that use actual Lego bricks to come up with their own patented version of World War II sets that you can buy. I don't know if you can just buy the instructions for, or they take Lego, repaint, or recolor everything and make it more like that camouflage green, and make sets like that. Okay, so we got I would say probably the torso part of the Santa build here. Not sure yet where that will be, but I'm guessing somewhere here in the midsection part where his coat comes to the waist. And we'll see here kind of, what's the rhyme or reason of the build here. Actually, let me finish this one section here and see what you guys think about this, just from the way these parts are set up. And And bag one, you start to see bag one wrap up so quickly, right? Boom, there it is, just a few pieces left. But if I was just to see this, I'd be like, oh, you must be building a Ninjago set. It looks like, kind of looks like a Ninjago, the start of a Ninjago temple. So yeah, W for the Death Star, says Brick Squad. Yes, that's a set that initially I was hyped about. Then I saw the pictures of it, and you know the critics and the memes followed with the death slice. But then went to the Lego store that weekend it was released, and seeing the set built up in person, like the full set, it's impressive. Wow, is that a huge diorama set? And I could see, yeah, that being probably a set over time, kind of like a fine vintage, that a set will gain in popularity and value. So W for the Death Star. Does that mean you have Brick Squad? You have that set? Pretty sweet if you do. Odele says, did someone say Ninjago? Odele, nice. Odele, definitely bringing in the Ninjago vibes. But yeah, Odele, don't you think this is the Upscale Santa? But from just this point here, it's like, oh, what's that gonna be? Is that gonna be or a Lunar New Year set or Ninjago or maybe Monkey Kid? But yeah, for sure. That's what it looks like with the red and yellow especially. All right, so working on bag one here of the Upscale Santa. And yeah, Ninjago has a couple of sets that for January are kind of fun to look forward to. One being the blacksmith set, which I think that one really catches my interest. I would be pretty hyped about that set. It looks like, to me, the way Ninjago looked probably like around the 2017, 2018, 2019 time period with sets coming out then, especially those related to the Ninjago movie. So I love the look of that blacksmith set. I think that's going to be a $100 set, so that one looks cool. Maybe I'll get that one, but hold off and see if there's any special insider point deals. Speaking of it, taking advantage of insider points, or if it's not a Lego exclusive, then seeing how it's priced elsewhere, you know, through other vendors. But I'd love to get that set. Then there's that 15-year anniversary one, which that one to me looks more of like a mix or a hodgepodge of different themes, and I don't know about that one. And that one was pretty pricey. It looks like it comes with a lot of, I think maybe the draw to that one might be the minifigures. So yeah, the Ninjago set, not sure about that one. Tommy's, or the 15-year anniversary one, definitely sure about Ninjago. Love Ninjago sets in general. Tommy says the gingerbread AT-AT looks good with your Santa as a reindeer. Oh, nice, Tommy. That would be a fun, something like this. Get the Ninjago reindeer Christmas set, or the Ninjago or the reindeer throne room set. Kind of a fun. We've already built the mock. We didn't even realize it. Kind of taking the Lego theme and going somewhere else with it. I love it. Okay, so don't before I lose my place here. Gotta get this Upscale Santa somewhat discernible or look-wise here, and I'm realizing, man, I need better lighting on this table because I've got more like mood lighting going on here than Christmas lighting. But yeah, the Ninjago sets for 2026, that blacksmith set looks very cool. Definitely want to put that on my wish list. And then that 15-year one. Man, how do you do that? You hold Lego, maybe because it's so small, sometimes I find myself holding it and then, I don't know, flicking it out of my hand. Whatever reflex causes that. Not so great when, you know, you're trying to, in the midst of the build here, and you don't want to drop anything. And I said I was at the almost the finish line with bag one here, but I forgot the small pieces I had to throw in the Tupperware piece. But yeah, what in the world is this becoming? Now this looks like a Lego City miniature home piece, but this is all interior. This is all interior is my guess to the build. And okay, actually got some Technic pieces here as well. So gotta have some structure. Makes me wonder, is there a mechanical element to this Santa piece or this Santa Upscale Santa? Is there, because I got some cogs that I'm adding here to the build. So right there, what is this gonna be? And all multicolored, so you know it's an interior section. Oh wait, there is something mechanical here. Okay, so I got, let me finish up bag one here and see what in the world's going on. But yeah, some more Technic elements here. And, I don't know. But that was kind of cool how these all came together. I've never done that before. Okay, so we got 3. I don't know. These don't turn anymore though, so we'll see what this becomes. And these go on top. I feel like I'm just building a random, what can I do to use up the pieces left in the box? So there we go. What in the world is this gonna be? This is the Upscale Santa. If you're just joining it, this is the Upscale Santa. Can you even tell what this is gonna be? Hey, Alexandria. You know, getting the high end, the UCS level sets has gotta be pretty exciting. I mean, obviously I have a big set here behind me, the Daily Bugle, but one of those Star Wars UCS sets I think would be a fun, very fun experience. That's one actually, I don't know if I'd want to order it by mail. I kind of would want to go to the Lego store and get, if I was going to get a UCS set, just to, I don't know, experience the full, like, yes, I'm here at the Lego store and I'm here for some, serious Lego business, i.e. buying a pretty serious set. And so, getting that giant canvas bag. In fact, we were at the Lego store 2 weekends ago now, and someone had done just that. And they got the big yellow canvas bag, the Lego bag, and the Death Star, inside. Okay, so this must be part of a leg because I just turned the page and whatever, this is going to be a pretty serious structure to the minifig scale build. If I was a Lego designer, I don't know if I'd ever come up with this interior build mechanism, but the sprocket pieces serve as, I guess, kind of a structural thing. All right, so I got to do 2 of these. So there's one, and let me backtrack here. I guess the pieces are gonna mirror each other. I think, maybe the idea is that the legs on a regular minifigure, how, you can do this kind of pose where you move the legs. So I think that's why that explains the Technic side of what's going on here. All right, Amy's checked out. I have one UCS set, land speeder, Tommy says. Awesome. Tommy, how many pieces is that? And would you recommend that one, or is that a retired one? There's been several of the Star Wars UCS sets. I don't know what they all are. And I know, over the course of time, there's been a couple Millennium Falcons and other builds. But yeah, you can't beat when you talk about getting into Lego, and I was saying, like, get a modular. Those are fun because now you're kind of upping the challenge on a Lego build experience. And then the UCS set is just like a whole another level. You know, over, I don't know, 6,000 pieces or something like that. And building up a set that is hours and hours of, if you're not live streaming, then you're still spending a lot of time. But man, that is the brick therapy right there. Building up a huge set like that would be so fun. So yeah, looking forward to when I can, you know, build one of those. A UCS set would be so cool. Of course, then it display wise, if we got the UCS Death Star, it would like take up all this table. Or you wouldn't want to put anything in front of it. So even if there was room, it would be pretty impressive, that thing. I know one person who got the UCS Millennium Falcon, basically it became a coffee table piece, like or a coffee table that was like clear. The table part was clear glass, and then underneath underneath that, they put the Death Star or the Millennium Falcon. So kind of a permanent display. And I'm guessing if you have one of those, I don't think you want to take that part necessarily and rebuild it again. At least when I've heard about those who have experienced the build on the Millennium Falcon, because there are so many panel pieces, and you know, there's a lot of tricky parts, of course, or a lot of these situations where you're putting up a bunch of Technic pieces together, or yeah, a bunch of this. You don't want to take out Technic pins and rebuild that again necessarily. Maybe you you're gonna kind of take a break from buying Lego sets and just enjoy what you have, which is perfect, which is totally fine, especially when your collection's good size like this. I've done that obviously with the Christmas sets. I build these, take them apart and store them and rebuild them again for Christmas. That's always fun. So, hey, Mayo, thanks for being here. Got our 17 likes. D&M Bricks, what's good? Welcome, D&M Bricks. Oh my goodness, got all the mods coming in, thankfully. Good to see you guys. Tommy says the UCS land speeder, it's retired, but you can find it. 2,700 pieces. Yes, I will take apart to rebuild. There you go. That one I wouldn't feel as intimidated by, but for sure I would say the Millennium Falcon and probably the Death Star would be. Although, you know what? The other part of brick therapy is, this is so cool, putting these sprockets together. They kind of just fit into place as long as you spin it right. That is the other brick therapy aspect, though, of building. Like you can take apart, resort all the pieces, organize them, part things out a certain way, and actually that part's kind of fun too. So yeah, you know what, Tommy? I like that. That would be cool. I don't know. Speaking from only the theory part of what that would be like, though, to rebuild an entire UCS set, one that you've built up already and taken apart. So how many pieces? Oh, you said 2,700 pieces. So that one's not as intimidating. You know, I was picturing more like, I guess, kind of like the Titanic, 10,000 pieces. Obviously, like, there are some sections you wouldn't probably want to take apart. Like if it's a modular, or like Ninjago City, there's the base plate part where you cover it with different colored tiles and everything. That part I wouldn't take apart, because that's all flat and you don't need to change much there. That part I would leave alone. Let's see, D&M Bricks saying hello. Ooh, Tommy says I want to use a light kit. But yeah, D&M Bricks, a lot of work. Okay, so we've got, oh wait, there's one final pin section, forgot about here. Okay, I've got 2 of these now built up to get Santa's. So I'm building the Upscale Santa. If you guys just, this is what I'm working on, and I was trying to figure out what the sections would be. So obviously the torso here, but you know, I was making fun. This almost looks like the start of a Ninjago build because of the red and yellow. And then built up a couple of these sections here, and then a couple of these sections here. If you're into Willy Wonka, this almost looks like the color looks like an everlasting gobstopper. So that's kind of fun. Okay, so these 2 sets look like part of the leg piece, and it looks like they mirror each other and connect at an angle. So let me figure this out real quick. So it looks like they fit into this, fits into this. So let me do that real quick, or let me figure it out. Actually, I need the picture to show. Okay, it goes on the edge. This might be the, okay, so something like that. So you got like a leg, torso piece going, I think. And then the other side does the same thing. Something like that. And, oops. All right, I don't know, does that look right? Now it looks like a clown face. So this is bag 1, and it's not the torso. It looks like maybe the side of the torso, so where the arms attach. And so like here's the temple part, and then this section slides over. And we've got Santa's, okay. Oh, there's no connection part there. Santa's, the beginning of Santa's torso. His interior pieces, his interior organs, and there's the back. So that's bag 1. All right, good place to stop. So if you missed it earlier, we built up Santa's workshop, and now we're starting the Upscale Santa. A whole lot of cool bright red Lego pieces going together, and good to see all that. Let me catch up on the chat here real quick. I should have started later to catch you guys. So Tommy says, I want the light kit. D&M Brick says, a lot of work yet to rebuild a UCS set. John Powell says, most UCS sets are not that big. The Millennium Falcon to me seems like it would be. Well, it would be for piece count and size, and then to rebuild would be a good investment of time, but not bad. Different building spot today, says D&M Brick. Yes, it is. Had to show off the other part of our collection here, right? So we had just finished the Winter Village Fire Station down here, and Santa's sleigh, and then some of our collection here, the Daily Bugle, the older Sanctum Sanctorum, and some other cool sets. My son's own personal mock build of a football stadium here with all his minifigs. And yeah, the yellow fire truck, the Spider-Man bridge there, one of our favorite pieces. So yeah, one of our favorite sets. So lots of good stuff. The Falcon is the extreme. Okay, so yeah, the Falcon is the outlier. Tommy says, please like and subscribe. Yes, Tommy, always a high five for that. Mayo says, just got home from the Lego store. Oh, pick a brick box of 2x3 Pentagon Nexo Night Shield tiles. Interesting. What are you going to do with all those? A full pick-a-brick box of the shields. Those kind of go in opposite, says John Powell, probably referring to what I was building. DNM Brick says, that's really cool. Great work, BrickTherapy23. Thank you, Alexandria. All right, well, I'll have to catch you guys again tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know. I was assuming if I started earlier, I'd catch more of you guys. But hey, what do you know? You guys are night owls. So thanks for joining on the double header, sort of, the double set of building up Santa's workshop. If you guys took advantage a couple of years ago, this was a gift with purchase, and you know, build, take apart and rebuild every Christmas. And we are off to a good start with the 7-bag set of the Upscale Santa. We'll start bag 2 tomorrow and see how far we get. So it looks like we're about right the midsection there. All right, guys, have a good evening. Thank you guys for joining me, leaving a like, and I'm so glad to see a lot of you come here at the end. DNM Bricks, Alexandria, Tommy, our new mod, John Powell, Mayo, and then we had DNM Bricks, of course, and we started with Tavaya and Amy, and Damos was here for a little bit. Jimmy Jr. came in. Cart had some good questions, Cart D90. So thank you guys for joining. Have a good one.